Hi there, people. I want to talk to you today about just an exciting, I would say, interpretation I got. Like, this is crazy because this is a chapter in the Bible that as soon as I tell you, it's going to instantly trigger probably your memory. Maybe not, but for many of you it will. Psalms 23. And as much as I love this chapter, I'm going to be honest, there's a part of the chapter that always tripped me up every single time I would read it until recently. And I'm talking about, I have some age, so I've been reading it for a very long time. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, chapter. And the verse literally right before the verse I'm talking about, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort and protect me. Like, it's just this beautiful ode, right, that David has to God. And when you feel it, you really feel it. And that part is so beautiful because you can place it in your own life, and knowing that life can be unpredictable and knowing that God is there no matter what. Well, what's interesting is that next verse, and it says, he will prepare a table in the presence of his enemies. This is what David's saying, And then you think, well, God, you're going to prepare a table in the presence of my enemies? I don't know about you. I don't think I'm a coward, but like that doesn't sound like an exciting situation or dinner party for me to be hanging out eating around my enemies. I don't want to be around my enemies. I don't want to be in the presence of my enemies. And so if I'll be honest with you, I struggled with this for years. Like, well, God, why would I want to be in the presence of my enemies? And this last time, I asked him that, and the answer was amazing. It was actually rather beautiful. And what he said to me was, you want a big table. You want a global presence even, which I do. I want to have a positive influence on people around the world. I would love to do that. And he said, if you're going to have a big table, you're going to be sitting at a big table. How can your enemies not see you given the big table that I'm going to give you? And I was like, whoa, blew my mind. So a lot of us, we're running around trying to hide from enemies when God meant you to be big enough for the enemies and anybody else to see. And God is obviously big enough to protect you from any enemy. And a lot of times, what we have around us are people who are jealous and who are envy to the point where they invoke fear in you because their anger, their hate toward you, or their jealousy toward you, their envy toward you, you just want to escape it. But it's not about escaping anybody's feelings or emotions or plot against you. It's about having protection and covering with God no matter who's around. And so that's what he showed me, is that the focus is wrong. If I'm focused on whether or not my enemies are around when he gives me a table, I'm focused on the wrong thing. I'm supposed to be focused on God. And so when he says he's going to prepare a table for me or you in the presence of enemies, what he's saying is that the world is going to see how he's going to bless us, bless me, bless you, to the point where everybody's going to see it. And if everybody's going to see it, well, of course enemies are going to see it because the blessing is that big. The table is that big. And so all I can say is amen. And I don't know, maybe I'm late, late on that, revelation that he has in Psalms 23. But when I tell you, it blessed me when I realized what God was really saying. And when I allowed myself to change my focus from one of fear of non-confrontational to faith and the lack of relevance of the enemy. So yes, he will prepare a table in the presence of your enemies. That does not mean that the enemies are going to have any power to interrupt your meal. That doesn't mean that they're even going to be able to sit at the table. It's just just in the presence of them. That means they're going to be able to see it. Hopefully they'll be inspired by it. It'll bless them to do better with their own lives when they see how God is blessing you. And I hope that this has blessed you. And have a good day.